because, for instance, let's say a woman who's pregnant, one of the things that she can develop is iron deficiency anemia. So, one of the things that gets added in prenatal vitamins is iron. What two other things get added into prenatal vitamins? I wasn't planning on going there, but let's go. Okay. So, we're just talking about prenatal vitamins. What components make up prenatal vitamins? Number one, we're going to have iron. What else are we going to have? Okay. Another thing that we need is calcium. And then another thing that gets added in prenatal vitamins is folate. So folate, of course, is vitamin B9. Okay. Oh, what happens if you don't have enough folate? What do you need folate for? Well, you need folate to make DNA, to make all kinds of cells. If you have a folate deficiency, it can lead to things like megaloblastic anemia. Um, it can lead to neural tube defects, so spina bifida, things like that. Um, all kind of neural tube defects where the baby doesn't actually form properly, or at least the neurological system. So, like things like the brain, the central nervous system, so the brain, the spinal cord, right? So, this is how you can have a kid that develops without a brain. Maybe they have anencephaly, or maybe they have like I said, spina bifida or things like that. Obviously, that's not compatible with life. So this is why we want moms to take prenatal vitamins, for instance. And but for instance, let's say the mom doesn't even know she's pregnant. So she's not necessarily following her cycles as well, or maybe she has irregular cycles, and so she can actually be several weeks into the pregnancy, still not know it, but the baby has already started to develop, or hopefully. So, for instance, most neurological defects happen, let's say, within the first like 8 weeks, um, or most of the neurological development should happen within the first 8 weeks. So, if the mom is not having enough folate in her diet, for instance, she has a vitamin B9 deficiency in that first 8 weeks, it's going to predispose her to all kinds of neural tube defects. Okay. So, in prenatal vitamins, we have iron, we have calcium, we have folate. Okay. Now, let's go back to, remember how I was telling you about this? So you see what I'm doing here. I'm taking little basic things, right? And just because I know very basic topics, we're able to go all over the place just with a basic idea. And this is how I want you to be. I want you to be able to take very basic concepts. And when you know the biochemistry, when you know the physiology, you're going to be able to figure out everything else very quickly. Okay. Let's go back. Remember how I said that the enzyme, what was that enzyme called that helps us get the iron into that porphyrin ring? That was called ferrochelatase, right? Well, there is a condition where, remember, so we just talked about if you have an iron deficiency. So we needed iron, but we also need the enzyme to help the iron, and that's ferrochelatase. But what if you have a ferrochelatase deficiency? Do you know the name of the condition where you don't have enough of that enzyme? Do you remember what that's called? So a